Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com. And today my guest is Sidereal astrologer Krasi Attasio, who will speak to us about the coming month of December, sidereally the 12 signs, but she'll also will take a look at the omens and predictions of the new cycle that just started that will carry on for 2 years between Mars and the Sun, and how it will affect us. So, hi, Krasi.
Hello, Ada. Hello, everyone. Yes, we have a very interesting month ahead with Mars in his own placement in Scorpio, invisible, and Venus on the 1st of December is also entering Sidereal Libra. And Venus, of course, is ruling Libra. This is great. And later on, I will explain how I see her blessing us while in Libra. Anyhow, we had very important celestial event. Maybe people know about this already. I will mention it because it has impact on December through the spring of 2024. And this was
people would say even 2 years, because a cycle of Mars and the Sun lasts for 2 years. It changes the themes the whole year ahead.
Yes, very true. Yes, this is why we have to mention this cycle, because it happened shortly after the first appearance of the moon. So it's quite, the moon was not yet in the first quarter when this happened. So Mars and the Sun met in the second degrees of second degrees of Scorpio. And historically, when we look back, historically, this was very interesting. Let's see how this will influence us. In Scorpio, Mars obviously is very powerful. He met the Sun. And usually, according to the ancient astrology, such assembly, such meeting is... of course, the planet which is meeting the Sun will be hidden in the rays of the Sun. It will be invisible, so we will not be able. We did not see Mars on the sky, but it is believed that such planet descends into the netherworld. And this makes Mars very powerful because mythologically, in the Babylonian astrology, this is the god mythology. This is god Nergal, so he feels very comfortable. He rules the netherworld. So Mars invisible, very powerful in Scorpio, and equally powerful when invisible, because, Scorpio is ruling the 8th house of the zodiac. All secrecy, secret, mysterious stuff are hidden in Scorpio. So usually people would be thinking, what is this? Why is this so important? What if you look historically back? This is... Before I speak historically, just to mention a few more things. Mars and the Sun met. And this is somehow, we look at this as if they had assembly, like they would be discussing something. And we are all very concerned with the peace in the world, in Israel. And Mars is very significant for our era or sub-era, because Mars is ruling our sub-era. This is a long conversation. I don't want to go into this now because we did it previously. So Mars, we of course, our attention goes to Mars if we want to predict the future of the planet, but also of the people. So Mars met with the Sun now, and we, of course, immediately see the impact on that. And later on, his first appearance, in order to close this small cycle, will be in the beginning of May, and it will happen in Pisces, in the first degrees of Pisces. And I made my research what happened previously when Mars appeared for the first time in Pisces. And whether you will be surprised, on the 5th of May, 1945, Mars appeared in Pisces. And around that time, this was, we had the announcement of the end of the Second World War, but not for the whole world. It was for Russia and other countries. At the same time, people reminded me in other countries, even worse, warlike situations bursted. But this date was very significant, because after 5th of May of 1945, with the appearance of Mars in Pisces, we had change in the plans and of the war, of the Second World War. Before that, because we look at cycle, Mars met the Sun also in November of 1944, but they met in the very last degrees of Libra. Mars and the Sun, they met in and what are we thinking about Libra? Of course, this is the 7th house of the zodiac. Now they don't meet in Libra. They meet, they met in Scorpio. So, but when they met in Libra, we would have, if this is happening now, we would have more hopes. We would say, but this is Libra. Maybe they would reach maybe agreement, shake hands, and maybe there will be peace and the war will be over. But now the case is different, and they met in Scorpio. And I don't see this immediately as bringing peace in the world. And this is important, to say, because when saying this, it is not meant to make people worry or to scare people. Something came to my mind, again, our, wise man, what he said. When there is one person in a village which is decent, and let's say this village or city or town have 10,000 inhabitants, citizens, one is needed to be decent and to pray, and this person can save the whole village. So this is not to make you worried, but it's a little bit, to inform us, because we need to be responsible and also to, to take some action in this, not to be worried, not to be afraid. But anyhow, we cannot, we have to mention, this, and especially because it happened around the appearance of the first moon, which is already pointing towards the month Kislev, which we'll be discussing now, the Babylonian Kislev, because the moon appeared. After that, Mars joined, the Sun. So this is what I wanted to say. And this is, this is very important. And indeed, like we spoke with you before a few moments, this conjunction is so important, and it goes together with the appearance of Mars in Pisces, that it will basically change the world. It will, but it is part of many other events. Saturn-Pluto conjunction, Saturn-Jupiter, we don't need to mention them all because it will be a repetition, but you know what I mean. It is part of all these plans. But so this was just briefly what will happen. The good thing, beautiful thing, of course, Venus on 1st of December is entering Libra, and she will even receive trine from Saturn, opposition from Jupiter, and this is somehow saving the situation. I believe this will soften the energies in December, but of course Venus, she's giving this sweet energy. She can help us in our romantic lives. She can bring a little bit more peace. But what is globally happening is happening, because we look also at these very important major players like Saturn in Sidereal, Aquarius, and so on and so on. I felt that this is important to tell you. In addition, as you know, we spoke about this, but I need to remind you, the lunar nodes will be in December, of course, in the axis of Pisces, Virgo. And of course, this is also changing, slowly shifting the energy towards totally different, picture of the world, totally different goals of the people, plans, because when Rahu is in Pisces, Pisces is the 12th house, ruling the 12th house of the zodiac. This is the Jupiterian, very empathic, very spiritual energy. So there could be also good things in this too. So saying this, I don't know, maybe we should continue with the 12 ascendants, Wada.
Yeah, before you start, I just want to let people know that Krasi is continuing her great promotion discount for anyone who contacts her. For 2024 reading, it's $150 only, down from $250. That's a really good 30-40% discount. Anyone who'd like to contact Krasi, it's active for another 2 weeks. I'm putting a link below in the description, but you can begin with the 12 signs now.
Yes. So as usual, we're looking from the two perspectives of astrology, sidereal and tropical. So when we mention the zodiacal sign, would be the sidereal ascendant. And then I also mentioned the tropical ascendant. And if you do not know your time of birth, then you can apply your moon sign. So when we're starting with sidereal Aries, this will be your tropical Taurus, in case that you prefer to use the tropical astrology. So it is sidereal Aries or tropical astrology or tropical Taurus. Or if you're following the modern tropical zodiac, you can apply this. And also, of course, this could be moon in Aries or moon in Taurus. So starting with Aries. Now for you, you see, I will start with the good thing. You know, you're very protected, beautifully protected with Jupiter on your ascendant. This is really brilliant because Jupiter is very powerful and he will be on your ascendant until the spring of 2024. For you, this important conjunction that I mentioned about between Mars and the sun is happening on your 8th house. I wouldn't look at this with a negative connotation. I believe you can use this for your drive to research the occult. It can be very practical and very productive for you to, to concentrate, to get knowledge. So in this sense, this can be positive. Of course, this can bring a little bit disbalance in the financially, because this is access of money, especially money of your partner or finances via partnership. So you may need to be a little bit more, let's say, careful when you make financial decisions. Just make sure that you make them in a very disciplined way. The good thing for you, very beautiful, is that on the 1st of December, Venus comes on your 7th house. This will bring very good things in your romantic life. Also, this can be very positive when it comes to agreements, when it comes to results from, let's say, negotiations, court cases. Venus in Libra, very powerful. She's trining Saturn on your 11th house. This could also be have financial opportunities for you. But like I said, because of the affliction of the axis of 8th and 2nd houses, be cautious, like when you make financial decisions, like make them in a very, let's say, structured way. But Venus and Jupiter on the axis of your ascendant is truly very good for you. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you're using the modern tropical astrology, this would be Gemini. Now for you, your ascendant Venus will enter on 1st of December your 6th house. This can be actually very useful for your health, can bring blessing in your routine environment, in your everyday environment. She can restore the peace there. She can support your career because she's creating harmonious trine to Saturn, and this is very good because Venus and Saturn have very friendly relationship. In the meantime, what you need to watch out a little bit, Saturn, Mars and the Sun conjoined on your 7th house. Watch out a little bit in your romantic life. Be a little bit more, let's say, diplomatic, patient, loving. Because Mars may bring a little bit of disharmony. Also, it's not the most appropriate timings for signing agreements or starting new, let's say, new partnerships, new businesses. This is where you need to watch out. But Venus on your 6th house is very supportive towards your career, routine, so this will be very fine. Also, when you have to do administrative stuff, like some boring stuff, she will be very supportive in December for you because she'll be in your 6th house. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Cancer. Now, for you, your ascendant ruler Mercury will be in Scorpio, and when this conjunction happened on the 18th of November between Mars and the Sun, they conjunct your ascendant ruler Mercury in your 6th house. This would say that you need to be a little bit more careful for your health, meaning be a little bit more responsible, like make sure that you live healthy life, apply healthy lifestyle, and also make sure that you are very diplomatic with the people which surround you. Because Mars, Mercury, the Sun, there may bring this harmony in your routine, everyday environment, in your job, in your everyday job. On 1st of December, Venus is entering your 5th house. And this is very good because she will support your creativity, creative study. She will support children, improving, if needed, relationship with children. She will support projects abroad, long distance, media work, because she will trine Saturn, who would be in your 9th house in the meantime. She will support travel as well. But of course, keep in mind of this 6th house matters to be a little bit more diplomatic, careful with the people who share your routine environment, and more responsible for your health. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer, or moon in Cancer, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Leo. Now for you, you're ruled by the moon. The first appearance of the moon for this month happened in Scorpio. This is maybe, because this is, the moon is very esoteric, very interesting, very mysterious, but this is considered to be a little bit weak appearance and placement of the moon, because the moon in Scorpio is such. So, and also the conjunction between Mars and the Sun took place for your horoscope in Scorpio. So, and this is again your 5th house. This can be interesting if you are doing, let's say, creative studies. If you are doing creative projects, this can be very interesting, but still a little bit disturbances may be caused by the presence of Mars, his invisibility conjunction with Mercury. Therefore, maybe you need to apply a little bit more spiritual work so that everything goes very harmoniously, so that you can really benefit from these placements in your horoscope. Because in the ancient astrology, the 5th house is the house of the good fortune. So you can actually have very lucky results if you play your cards very well. If you manage to be above small disharmonies, which this can cause, you may need to be a little bit more attentive with children too. Now, Venus on 1st of December enters your 4th house, and this is very good. This supports your home, parents, even career. So I see this as quite positive, and I told you which are the areas to be a little bit more careful in. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Virgo. Now for you, the conjunction between Mars and the Sun that we spoke about in the beginning is taking place on your 4th house, meeting there Mercury. So you may need to be a little bit more balanced, careful at home with parents, and also at work, because this conjunction is making opposition to your workplace. But I like the fact that on 1st of December, Venus is entering Libra, which happens to be your 3rd house, and there she will support communication, travel, and she will make harmonious trine to Saturn, who is in your 7th house, and this way she will bring harmony also in your romantic life, because depending on how Saturn is placed in your horoscope, could be that he, from the beginning of his entrance in Aquarius, is causing you some challenges in your romantic life, or with agreements, or with some partnerships, projects. But now Venus will give some, harmony. She will really be very helpful. Venus is having great relationship with Saturn, and this will be very, very helpful for you. But again, career-wise, watch out a little bit. Try to be very loving, careful with parents at home, patient, diplomatic, and all will go well. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Libra for you. Now, for you, it's the situation is interesting because since October you have the two lunar nodes, Ketu, Rahu, on the axis of your ascendant descendant, and also you see they brought with themselves the eclipses of the next 2 years, which would say that you're entering very interesting, intensified period. I'm not saying bad, certainly not, but I'm saying very intense period of some changes. And now the appearance, not the appearance of Mars later, but the conjunction between Mars and the Sun took place in your third house. And this would say that you may need to be a little bit careful when you communicate with brothers and sisters. In general, communication, negotiations, long distance travel, you may need to be a little bit more careful, especially with brothers and sisters, especially when you have to negotiate commercially. Be a little bit more balanced, careful, not worried, because this conjunction on your third house, especially with making conjunction with Mercury, may indeed afflict a little bit those areas. But the good thing is that Venus will be powerful from 1st of December on your second house, and she makes trine to Saturn in the 6th. This can support your routine work, even your health, even finances. So this is absolutely not bad. But these areas that you may need to be a little bit more careful, I mentioned to you. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Scorpio. Now for you, again, interesting change, maybe relief. I have to mention this because it is very important, because since 6th of October of this year, the lunar nodes moved out of your ascendant-descendant axis. And before, when they were on your ascendant-descendant axis, you experienced all eclipses of the last approximately, roughly 2 years. So this will be a relief, true relief, because they moved now on your 12th, 6th houses axis. In the meantime, on 1st December, Venus enters your ascendant. Very good December this would be for you. Really, like, you feel very well with Venus on your ascendant. Your well-being, you feel protected, you feel joyful. This is fine for your relationships. Just very good. And in the meantime, Venus makes harmonious trine to Saturn, who will be in your 5th house. Communication with children, creative projects, talented work, creative studies, even financially this will be supported. So this will be very good for you. Now, of course, because of the appearance of the invisible Mars, who conjoined the Sun on your 2nd house with Mercury, you may need to watch out a little bit for communication with family members. Also, financially, when you make decisions, make sure that you're very balanced, very careful, because this conjunction may bring a little bit of disharmony. So this is also important, but Venus on your ascendant will be great blessing, really. And now we look at Scorpio ascendant sidereal or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Sagittarius. Now, Mars is on your ascendant now. He made conjunction with the Sun on your ascendant, also with Mercury. How I see that? Actually, don't worry, because Mars belongs to Scorpio, so I don't see this as a major disharmony, but a little bit of disharmony this may cause you, because Mars is invisible. This makes him a little bit unpredictable, a bit, yes, mysterious. It's hard to predict what he may really cause you in terms of emotions, but now you know. And most of the times when we know what is causing certain emotional status or certain conditions, we already have the solution. We already have the remedy. So if you feel a little bit out of balance, emotionally unstable, you know why this is, and you can do spiritual practices to help yourself, and you will be able to help yourself. Also, you see, you can benefit from this because this is very powerful energy hidden. This can really be very positive in terms of reaching certain goals of yours, in terms of mysticism, in terms of deep knowledge. This can be very, very, very useful. But of course, be a little bit careful when you travel, when you negotiate, because this is also very important axis. Now, Venus enters on the 1st of December, your 12th house. There she can help you to win over hidden enemies. She can be supportive in terms of health, very much. She trines Saturn on your 4th house. This can be supportive for your home or property, real estate project. So this can be very, very benevolent. I know Mars and Saturn are making square in the meantime, of course, but Venus is very, very helpful for you. Just make sure that you're very spiritual, very balanced, that you make use in the wisest way from this conjunction without fears and worries. And I will look at people who have Sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or Moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Capricorn. Now for you, actually, your ascendant to Jupiter is creating harmonious trine to your ascendant, to your descendant. This is very fine. This conjunction between Mars and the Sun took place on your 12th house. Watch out a little bit for hidden enemies. Be a little bit more alert. Be more responsible for your health. But Venus will be very helpful. She will be from 1st of December on your 11th house. She'll be create harmonious sextile to your ascendant, which will be very helpful. She'll create trine to Saturn from your 3rd house. I believe this will support communication, finances. This will be fine for children, for your children. But the small challenges I already mentioned to you. And now we look at people who have Sidereal ascendant Capricorn or Moon in Capricorn, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aquarius. Now for you, this particular conjunction between the invisible Mars and the Sun took place on your 11th house. This is creating sextile actually to your ascendant, so this is harmonious aspect. Which can actually show that because this conjunction, which is not very harmonious, takes place in a good house in your horoscope, it will not so afflicting, but of course, be a little bit careful with your social appearance, social life, also with friendships. Make sure that you're diplomatic, careful. Also, financially, make sure that you make balanced decisions, like really double check every detail. The good thing is that Venus enters your 10th house on 1st of December, Libra, and this will support career, home. This will be actually the very supportive factor in your horoscope. Also, Venus makes trine to Saturn in your 2nd house, and this can be financially also quite fine. And now we look at people who have Sidereal ascendant Aquarius or Moon in Aquarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Pisces. Now for you, good that on 1st of December, Venus enters Libra, which is your 9th house. Then she creates harmonious, protective blessing towards Saturn on your ascendant. This is very good for you. This can support travel, international projects, media, communication. Actually, this would be very interesting for you. Of course, Mars and the Sun conjoined on your 10th house, and they are squaring Saturn on your ascendant, but Venus is very helpful. But and this would say that you may experience certain disharmony in your career place. So there you may need to be very diplomatic, careful in your career place in particular. This can bring some dose of disturbances, like when there will be, let's say, new initiatives. Watch out a bit, be very diplomatic with superiors, but in general with projects at your career place you may need to be quite diplomatic. But Venus is giving helping hand, certainly with her trine to Saturn on your ascendant, and she's softening the square between Mars and Saturn. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Pisces or moon in Pisces, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aries. Now for you, excuse me, the conjunction between the Sun and Mars took place on your 9th house, which is not a bad house, and it's this particular conjunction is trining your ascendant. So actually this can bring you even some very practical uses, like can make you very driven and very practical in your studies. Be a little bit careful when you travel. This is not the most appropriate moment to travel and to negotiate, communicate, or you need to be very well prepared, very balanced, very careful. Now also watch out a little bit, be responsible a bit for your health, watch out a little bit for, be a bit alert for hidden enemies because of the square between Mars and Saturn, which is activating also your 12th house. But Venus is coming to give great help, because on 1st of December, she's entering Libra, and she will be trining Saturn. And this way, she will soften the heavy aspect between Mars and Saturn, so don't really worry so much. But be a little bit balanced, careful, especially when you negotiate, be careful when you travel, and so on. So I think this was mainly the main thing for the 12 ascendants, Wada.
Thank you so much, Krasi.
Very welcome.
And again, if anyone, Krasi is preparing for us the 2024 video horoscopes. They will be soon out for each of the 12 signs. Check out sometime in December. Sidereal and tropical, like she always does, but she always looks at it as from the sidereal signs as interpretation. And again, if you would like a personal reading with Krasi, I'm putting a link below in the description. Very big discount, down from $250 to $150 for the year ahead.
Thank you, Wada. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great day.